In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and pink beetles.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Gabe Kuhn, our producer, Kenny Stubblefield, and boys, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing great, brother, because I see these transfer portal commits coming through for the University of Memphis. I feel phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brand is thriving, clearly.
They are absolutely in every way closing the gap right now.
Yes. Shout out Charlie Huff, baby. Hell yeah. I love it.
So, any notes from the fellas before we jump in? I feel like I think we had 13 minutes last week of pre-show.
We need to spare everybody from all of our happenings in our life. You know what I mean?
Fine. That's fine. Okay, well, let's start with.
Well, actually, can I say this?
Yeah.
Y'all will get a kick out of this. Well, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll feel sorry for him. I certainly feel sorry for my bubs. All right.
What happened?
There's no easy way to say this, guys.
Oh, no.
We have to take him back to a urologist to get a second snip.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't
why?
Isn't that wild? And we have to pay for it. I feel like the hospital who didn't do it right
who messed that up should.
I feel like they should be held accountable. You know what I mean?
Better now, I guess, than later in life. But oh god,
yeah. Well,
like what if he got to like 12 and it had to happen then? That'd be a lot worse.
Yeah, no, that would be way worse, substantially worse.
But still, that's one that you're gonna tell him when he's like 15 or 16, and you'd be like,
yeah, and I'm gonna say exactly what Trey said. It's a double snip.
Yeah,
double snip.
Yeah,
hey,
he's like,
brother, sometimes you leave a little bit left there, so you have to go in and.
Where in the history?
Wait, Trey, hold up to our guy Trey here in the comments. You know a guy. Who's the guy?
Exactly.
I'm curious.
Some dude named Cletus in South Memphis is gonna.
It'll be cheap. We have to do it off the books. Don't get the insurance companies involved.
I've never heard of that. Kenny, have you ever heard of a double?
Oh, okay.
His best friend is a urologist.
Okay. Huh.
Maybe I don't know which urologist my son went to. But I'll see if it's your friend. I have no idea. No idea. But all right, I just had to get that out of the way because I figured y'all might get a kick out of it, might get a little.
He's gonna be ultimately end up kind of pissed off at y'all, man. Because like, taking more. Like, what are we doing here?
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm gonna stay away from
Where in the history of life?
I was about to also.
We're all men. We need all we can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like where in the history of life have been like, there's too much. Let's take some off. Like, what are we talking about here?
I think I must have got a double snip.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? Yeah. That reminds me of remember bench warmers when he's like, steroids make your pee small.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be steroids
and macaroni. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enough of that.
Have y'all seen Cat Williams talk about steroids? Steroids make your dick
make your dick little.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna level the ship here.
All right.
Okay.
You have to with me and Kenny sometimes, brother.
Yeah, you have to. There's got to be a mediator. Let's start with what Gabe kind of opened with. Let's talk some Memphis football recruiting because that's a lot more positive now than Memphis basketball, which we'll touch before we get to the hot three. But we talked about it last week, right? And it was at a point where it was probably a lot of names that people hadn't heard of, a lot of Southern Miss guys. And I think he's done a really good job bringing the guys that he wanted with him, that he felt could help him at Memphis, bringing them from Southern Miss. But there have been some other additions from different schools that kind of show you, okay, maybe Charles Huff is going to be legit as a recruiter. He picked up Marcus Stokes from West Florida, which I think it wasn't official last week, but maybe he was on his visit last week. We talked about it briefly last week. But Memphis did get a commit from him. He was extremely productive at West Florida, running the ball, throwing the ball. If you don't know, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, had some not great decision making.
Did anybody else find it funny that one of his pictures from the University of Memphis was him in the uniform with his cell phone in his hands? I was like, hey,
get that cell phone out your damn hands, brother.
Put that cell phone away.
Yeah, that thing's gotten you in trouble in the past.
If you don't know, I'm not going to go in detail on it, but you can look it up and find that out pretty quickly. But he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, was committed to Florida. And after that, no one really touched him. So went to West Florida, was productive there, and is now getting a chance at Memphis. So we thought that, okay, this is going to be the quarterback of the future. Then I think it was today, Memphis landed Air Nolan.
Ooh,
was a top 10 quarterback in the 20.
I thought he was top 5, right?
I think
he was top 10. He was the 7th ranked quarterback according to 247 in the 2024 class.
So top 10 quarterback in the 2024 class. Originally went to Ohio State, transferred to South Carolina, and now is coming to Memphis. I would imagine that means he thought he had a chance after this year if Lenore Sellers would have left and went to the NFL. Maybe that means Lenore Sellers. I don't know if he's announced he's coming back. I would assume he is. So Aaron Nolan coming to Memphis, him and Marcus Stokes will compete for that QB1 spot. So that gives Memphis 2 quality guys to compete. And you would imagine whichever one comes out of that, the starter, would have a pretty successful offseason and hopefully could leave Memphis. And then Dallin Hayden from Ohio State also, and then Colorado, originally from Memphis, has been semi-productive at the collegiate level, but has never been a workhorse back. I mean, if you look at the players they play with at Ohio State, it's going to be hard for him to be the lead back there.
But he got touches, he got carries.
Yeah, no, he was still getting worked in at Ohio State. He was never the top guy, the number one guy. And then at Colorado this year, they struggled running the ball. They had brought Dylan Edwards in and expected him to be kind of the main back. I don't know. Who knows what Colorado was trying to do.
They just can't run the ball.
No, they could not run the ball. So kind of same song and dance there. Now he comes back home, comes to Memphis, and I would imagine that the plan is for him to have a very big role in this offense, and for him to finally get the keys to an offense and them say, look, you're going to be the number one. You're going to get the lion's share of the reps, and you should be able to showcase your talents. Because I think he was a maybe a mid-level 4-star coming out of high school. So he was highly thought of, went to Ohio State, which we know turns out good running back. So those are some of the big additions to this point. And like Gabe said, we saw it with the Southern Miss guys, and then we wanted to see a little bit more. What can you do outside of the guys that have a relationship with you, that you have coached? And he's gotten some guys that should be difference makers from day one at Memphis.
Yeah. All right. So I'll admit the skill players have me fired up because this level of name coming out of the transfer portal to the University of Memphis it's never happened, brother.
Right.
They're going to have a quarterback room with 2 top 15 quarterbacks that were when they were part of their recruiting class. Two
Right.
top 15 guys, 2 4-stars. When the hell did that happen? When has that ever happened at Memphis? Never. And it's wild to see Memphis football. And Ryan did a little bit of this as well. But like we always talk about Memphis basketball recruiting historically. We're in an era where we can follow Memphis football recruiting and find a real source of excitement. Instead of just these high school guys named Gabe Kuhn that were 2 stars out of St. Louis. And we just hope that they develop eventually. Like these are guys that seemingly have a lot of juice. But I'm disappointed in you, Christian. I'm very, very, very disappointed in you.
Why is that?
Because you talk about all these skill guys, you didn't get to the trenches, brother. The trenches, to me, is where you find some of the best talent that he's recruited so far. He got a guy named Martin Woodsma, who's following Kevin Decker, the new OC from Old Dominion. Played in 45 games, starting 20. Okay, and he's played 1,800 snaps or whatever, only giving up 2 sacks. And he's 6'5", 315 pounds. On top of that, you bring in a guy named Kobe Keenum, who's a center in all likelihood, an interior guy, but came out of high school as a 4-star center. And this guy is 6'4", 325 pounds, played 12 games for Mississippi State. And they get him. And then the one today is probably the most exciting for me just because it's like this guy has a proven track record and really can make some things happen. I really love the addition of Aaron Karras from Colorado State. He was all Mountain West this year. And the guy has started, I believe, 25 games. He's 6'5", 315. So they're building the trenches out to really fit a solid running game, dual threat quarterback. They're filling them out in a way that I think Ryan had struggles to do it. And he was an offensive line coach.
Right.
But clearly they have a lot of resources on their side, and they're using all those resources to the best of their ability to get some big name dudes in there. And listen, when Charles Huff was hired here, I knew that he could recruit, right? He was 2021 recruiter of the year at Alabama under Saban. But I had no way of foreseeing the level of recruit he was going to bring to Memphis. I feel like the level of these guys is unbelievable. And also worth mentioning on the defensive side of the ball, I thought he got 2 game breakers. Ian Foster from Southern Miss, who I think had 3 picks last year, nearly 70 tackles, a couple forced fumbles. He's a dog at the free safety position, had a bunch of offers from the Power 4, high-level Power 4 at that. And then Jamon Tapp, a real edge rusher, by the way, guys. Maybe a little bit of pass rush can get generated this year. Jamon Tapp, 12 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks last year at Southern Miss. And he's a Power 4 bounce back. He's 6'3", 285 pounds, can play the run and can get after the passer. So, man, I am excited to see what this team is going to look like by the time we get to next season. Now, I know we're a long way off, but it's built out very soundly, and you have some high-level, very proven recruits coming in. And you also mixed it with some of the Southern Miss recruits he got last year that could grow into something that he's going to try to develop. So I just come away with this transfer portal cycle impressed as hell with the early work of Charles Huff and this staff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Both sides of the ball. I am kind of with Trey. He said in the comments, can we get a wide receiver or 2, please? I think they still need a couple of additions there. They need a little bit more speed, a little bit more. So they just need to build this receiver room out.
Tyshawn Chapman was their first recruit, 4'3", low 4'4" guy. Terrell Timmons Jr. from Colorado. He's got a little bit of juice, taller, more rangy, 50-50 ball guy, strong. So that could be something. But I agree. Like, that's the one thing I would look at, to Trey's point, and say, yeah, it probably need a little bit more on the outside. really to make some things happen. But I look at like their quarterback recruits and their running back recruit, and I'm just going to be completely dead real with you. You look at them and you say all three of those guys, Aaron Nolan, Marcus Stokes, Dallin Hayden, all have the chance to be the best at their position in this conference. And I don't think that's hyperbolic. I think that's reality.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. They're talented enough to be those guys. So I'm with you. I'm excited about what he's building. And I've said it a couple of times already. That was the biggest thing is, yes, you can get the guys that you coached. What about the other talent? Can you bring guys that are coming down a level or have already went down a level and are looking to work their way back up or started low and need that platform? Like, hit it from all areas. Get all of these guys from whatever, walk of college football they've been through. And he's, guys from Old Dominion, guys from Richmond, guys that are, Power 4 bounce backs. He's really getting them from multiple levels. So I don't think you can complain about anything that's happened thus far in the transfer portal.
So I want y'all to do me a favor.
What I do love. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want y'all to do me a favor. What's beautiful about what we're doing now with On the Bluff is that we get to go live, and so people are listening to us talk about the Tiger football program right now. We have a very special guest in the comment section, and I wanted you guys to speak to him for a second. We have a good friend of Bluff City Media, a guy from the land down under in Australia, who every time he loves the Grizzlies, so he started to tune into us because he said, I'm tired of listening to national media talk about the NBA. I want to hear local. I want to know what's going on the ground in Memphis. So he started listening to Bluff City Media. He's on some of our shows now. He's fantastic. His name is Wayno. Wayno is in the comment section, and every time we have a conversation on any of our Grizzlies shows about college football, he tends to tune out, right? Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't like college football, American football. He likes to see koalas box each other. Like, that's what he wants, right?
Well, he likes a little footy, man.
Well, he likes
Australian football.
A little Australian.
Hey, brother, I had a friend. My roommate in college played Australian football. Nick Jacobs.
Let's go. Well, so he said today, though. He said, I was told today that today is the best, that right now is the best time to jump on the Tigers bandwagon. Wayno, you are blessed because right now you have Gabe Kuhn on this show, who's not only a legendary media person in the city of Memphis.
Legendary.
But he's also a former University of Memphis offensive lineman in the most historic time period of the University of Memphis. Look at him back there. Look at that jersey, bro. Gabe,
that's a big ass jersey, brother. That's a big ass jersey. I can tell you that right now.
Tell him, Wayno. Tell him, Gabe. Why should Wayno why should he jump on the Tiger football bandwagon?
Oh, I mean, I don't listen. It sounds like I don't have much of a case to make to him. Sounds like somebody else made a case to him. But listen, man, there's a program that's still on the rise, brother. After 13 years of being at a nice little perch, winning a lot of games, and now I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is the truth of what we're seeing right now. We might have the best recruiter in the history of Memphis football that's been a head coach at the head coach position right now in Charles Huff. It's amazing to see. It's real deal winning competitions on the recruiting trail against Power 4s, high level Power 4s at that, man. And the resources keep coming in. There's a lot of reasons to jump on the bandwagon right now, because I think also when you look at the G5 with access to the playoff, there's 5 or 6 schools, 5 or 6 programs every year that even have an opportunity to get that one spot. So I would say, I would absolutely say that it's a perfect time to jump on that bandwagon.
Wayno, before you get off, like, Christian's an asshole. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like,
I am not.
Hey, and also, Wayno, I gotta ask a question too. I have to pick on the Australian. How do y'all eat Vegemite? I've tried it before. It's disgusting. I can't do it. I don't know what it is, brother. Like, I can't.
And that's saying a lot because there's not a lot of food.
Yeah, brother, I'm not picky, but Vegemite, I don't know what it is. I don't know how y'all put that in your body.
Nice. Well, good save.
Yeah.
Good
I was going to say
save.
put it in your mouth, but Phrasing.
Pause.
Had to get a substitute there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other Memphis football notes? I think
there is. Lance Guidry is now the defensive coordinator. So Lance Guidry, 2 years before this year, he was the defense coordinator at Miami. And the reason this had to happen is Jason Seymour, the original hire for Charles Huff on this staff, ended up taking the DC job at Georgia Tech. But Lance Guidry, listen, don't go and don't look at Miami message boards to figure out about Lance Guidry. I remember when I was coming out of high school and I got recruited by Western Kentucky. Lance Guidry was DC there at the time. So I've been familiar with Lance Guidry for a long time. It's a bigger name hire, but he's done a really good job with Charles Huff before. I, to be honest, don't know what he'll look like at this level. We'll see how he'll handle this business, but he's a 4-2-5 guy. He's going to run what Huff wants, and he's had success in the past. Yeah. I would just tell Tiger fans, stay off Miami message boards and Miami Hurricane Twitter if you want to feel good about Guidry at the moment. But I will say to Trey put this out there. I don't think I like Guidry. Talk me off the cliff. I can't really do that for you, brother. I just cannot. Because I'm not necessarily a fan of guys that are sort of bounce backs, falling back down into where they once were. He built himself up from Western Kentucky to Marshall to Miami, landed a Miami gig from the work he did at Marshall, and now he's falling back down to Memphis. So, like, what does that look like? Where's the hunger at? Has he updated his schemes? Has he figured out a way to, adapt on the fly? Based on his struggles at Miami? We'll see. I have no way of knowing, but we'll figure it out pretty quick once the season starts next year, no?
Yeah, and I think he was he at LSU this past year? Like in an analyst role?
Yeah, I think so. It was at LSU or was it a bigger school?
LSU.
Not a bigger school, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, there's not many.
A different school in the SEC.
He was
LSU.
He was at LSU, and then he took the Oregon State DC job.
Yeah, then he hightailed it out of town quickly.
It was like
Huff said,
Memphis stealing coaches from Oregon State.
I don't mind that.
I mean, Oregon State's G5 though. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not like it's not
terrible job.
Yeah, no, it's not great. Okay, well, let's quickly move on. Talk some Memphis basketball. I don't have much to say about the loss to FAU. I can't really say anything else that I haven't said this year. Like I've been very consistent in my thoughts on this team, and I'm not someone that's typically hard on Memphis basketball. I usually try to call it how I see it, and usually I think it's unfairly negative towards Memphis basketball, and people act like the sky is falling too quickly, and I try to kind of be like a leveling middle ground voice. This year I have not. This year I have been, since early in the season, off of this team, just not a fan of what was put together in the off season. And I think I'm being proven right in that fact. That there were times when we tried to be positive and we tried to say good things. I think we did that last week, and it's just, I don't know if it's even worth it at this point. Like, it's just very negative.
I have nothing to add on top of that, quite frankly. What I would say is, in this FAU game, what frustrates me is, obviously Penny gets to the podium after the game and makes it very clear that he does not like this team and he can't find anybody with any consistency. But I want to get after Penny for a second. You got out-rebounded 46-29, and you played one big that entire game, besides 7 minutes from William Wharton and Tariq Ingram combined. And it was Aaron Bradshaw. And there's no surprise as to why you got your ass kicked on the boards, why you gave up 15 offensive rebounds. And, you can sit there and say, I don't have guys I can trust. I don't have players I can trust. I understand all of that. But play a big when you're getting your ass kicked on the boards by Florida freaking Atlantic. I don't think it's that complicated. Sorry. Yeah, it frustrated me to no end to see that. Because you can go to it after the game and say you don't like this team all you want. You've done that every game. But there are things you could have done within that FAU game to make your situation better, and I don't think he did it.
Kenny, you kind of look like you were going through it over there.
I just I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say at this point. Like, there are, like, Penny admitted after the Wake Forest game that he absolutely, his coaching malfeasance, his coaching malpractice lost them that game. And then you turn around and it's just, he is stacking up right now things that I would say are just like first year,
unacceptable.
like Leicester middle school type coaching mistakes.
Damn,
that's tough.
Brother.
That is tough.
Like, you're talking. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to come out as harsh as it did.
Okay, I like it, Kenny.
But I just don't understand. Like, you're getting out rebounded by 20 rebounds against a trash ass Florida Atlantic team that just lost to Tulane 2 days before.
And you played no bigs. You
played,
didn't play bigs. It was unsurprising that you got your ass kicked on the boards.
I just don't know what to say. Like,
Listen,
I don't know what to say.
Kenny, I think that's where I'm at. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll let you get back to it. But
you're good,
the thing that bothers me is we understand this team is not as talented as it should be. There was funds that were misused, let's say, to go get certain guys on this roster. But that does not excuse Penny's coaching decisions, his lack of commitment to a lineup, his lack of commitment to consistent rotations and lineups, his who he can play when he sees things going wrong. Like, just play bigs against Florida Atlantic, and at least you cut into that rebound deficit to a certain extent. He refused to do it. So I know that a lot of people's take about this season is going to be, hey, money's not what it once was. He didn't get the right guys. But I do think Penny Hardaway needs to be held accountable in multiple different directions and in multiple ways. One, he's the one who recruited these guys.
Yes.
And GM'd this team together. And two, he has not coached well.
Yeah.
He has not coached well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest frustration, right? If it just looked like Memphis was well coached and there was chemistry and there was just rhyme or reason with the lineups and the rotations, but they just weren't as talented because they couldn't afford talent, that would be one thing. That would be excusable to a point if it was just like, okay, this team is good. Like, they're solid. They're going to be very good in the American, but as far as nationally, no, they're not on that level. Then you'd say, okay, that's fine. Right. They're well coached. Yeah. They're a good team. They can win the American. Okay, if that's the new expectation, at least for a couple of seasons, then that can be the new expectation. But that's not what's happening. I mean, this is just a complete cluster.
It's a failure by everybody involved.
Yes, because
1 through 15 on the roster, coaching staff, everyone.
Yeah, no, you don't even know the players that you want to be on the floor or not. And you don't know the players that you want to be on the floor together at the same time.
Yeah.
And to be having that problem at the turn of the year in your, 15, 16, 17th game of the season, that is inexcusable. And I know he's got to be frustrated with what's going on, but like, you handpicked these players. Even if there were higher guys that you wanted that you couldn't afford, you still chose to bring these players in, and you believe that they could fit together and work together offensively and defensively, and there could be enough cohesion to make this work. And that is just
so far
wrong. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious that it's just wrong, and that Memphis is not even a very good team in the American right now. I mean, no one knows what's going on. No one knows from the coaching staff to the players. I don't think anyone knows what to expect, not only from like game to game, but from day to day, because I'm sure in practice stuff is changing even quicker and even more than it is in the games.
And to that point, I wanted to run something by both of you guys. Aaron Bradshaw had a good game in a terribly awful losing effort on the road against a bad Florida Atlantic team. 21 points, 5 rebounds. And he, 9 for 15 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. So he had a good game, and he was Penny was asked about it after the game. And Penny made mention of how he has altered the offense to try to feature Aaron Bradshaw more. What do we think of that shit? Honestly, I really want y'all's unfiltered opinion on that. Trying to feature Aaron Bradshaw after what we saw in the first 14 games.
It feels.
What the hell are we doing?
I mean, it feels to me like Penny basically said early in the season, like this is not what we expected from Aaron Bradshaw. And we talked about it. Like, look, we don't care how much money you spend on him. He doesn't need to be on the floor right now because he cannot make a positive impact on this team. So now it feels like, look, we paid this dude so much money, he's going to play minutes.
Well, but then
I mean,
you're featuring him.
It's like
on the floor.
It's
in
like
a non-feature role for you to sit there and practice and change an offense altogether to feature him.
Yeah, like we're not good. We paid this dude a lot of money.
Kenny's got thoughts.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I don't believe him.
Oh, really?
Like, show me how. Like, what have you done? He didn't play for 3 games.
And honestly, if he's telling the truth, Kenny, that is an indictment on Penny Hardaway as a schemer and a coach. Massive indictment.
Here is my theory, and oh my God, sorry, y'all kind of unlocked something in me tonight that I'm. There's a reason I'm not. Anyway, I need to be very careful, but I'm going to say it. I don't believe that they've actually altered anything to focus on Aaron Bradshaw. My theory is that he's in his own like self-preservation type of way, setting Aaron Bradshaw up for failure.
Okay.
Because I think that there is a level of we are going to focus on him. He's going to have another bad game and be like, well, Aaron didn't do it. We gave it all to him.
Tried to unlock him.
We did it for.
We've altered the offense strictly for him.
It's for Aaron, and Aaron didn't do it.
But the thing
someone
is,
else to pin it on.
God, he doesn't have to do that. We know that it's a miss already.
And I could be completely
we've all
wrong.
accepted that.
I could be completely wrong on that, but there is no my eyes tell a different story about what we're doing here. Like, there is not what has been featured. Most of his points came off of this year has come off of offensive rebounds, flailing on the ground, getting up and dunking. Like, there's no offense rhyme or reason being run for him.
Right.
Like,
you did get 15 shots though. Like, there's got to be something that was done.
Maybe something. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think like there is zero rhyme or reason for any of the things that has been going on with this roster, as bad as it could possibly be. Like, I'll give you for instance, like I can't understand, like the Tigers were down by 9, I think, with like a few minutes left in the first half. And they brought in McDaniel, Givens, Thedford, Zach Davis, and I think Aaron Bradshaw. Those 5 were out there. They whittled that game down. They whittled the game down to. They took that lead and got it to 2 points for FAU at halftime. Instead of all the craziness that he's done with the lineups this year, on principle decides to, instead of going with these 5 that have just shown you what they've done, like in the last couple of minutes of the first half, he comes back out in the second half with the starting 5 that got them down by 9 to begin with.
That's nuts.
And immediately within a minute or two, it was at 9, 10, 11, 12, kept going. On principle, he said, I didn't want to hurt their confidence, so I went back to the original starting lineup. Which of the 12 starting lineups did you go back to?
Right.
Like, I
don't want to hurt people's confidence.
I
Too
don't.
bad. They hurt their own damn confidence by playing horribly.
And you've already benched them all like 4 times. So what does it matter?
Shout out to our guy Francis Carlotta.
Who is a beast, because he's on after every single game.
Yeah, on after every game. And he's had to talk about this team. Strictly this team.
I don't know how
Francis, my heart goes out to you, brother. He said this Aaron Bradshaw thing. He says 5th time he's altered the offense to feature someone.
It was sincere. It was Doug. It was Curtis. It was Julius. Then it was Simon. Simon was one of them. And Simon didn't play 7 games in a row. Then he starts, and now he's not playing again. And now it's Aaron Bradshaw. Who is it? Like, who is it?
And brother, William
No one
Wharton
knows.
got 1 minute in this past game. What was like? What's the point of that? What I
Wow.
don't get. How do you get someone in for a minute and then pull them out and never play them again? And he's
Yeah.
done that multiple times this year. Brother.
I get the flaws, and like the title of this entire segment was this comments afterwards. He offered an entire apology to the city of Memphis for how this Tigers team has played. And he said, we just got outplayed, out hustled, everything in every way. And my response is just like, bro,
well,
like,
no.
thank you, but that doesn't mean anything.
My response is, I watched that game. I thought FAU was the better team. Like, I don't know. You can sit here and say we didn't give enough effort and we didn't dive after loose balls. That's not why you lost.
Right.
You didn't play the right lineups, and your team wasn't as good as Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
That's a sobering reality, but it's the reality.
Okay. We gotta be done with this negativity, right?
You getting depressed over there, brother?
I'm done with it. I'm so done with talking about this team. I think we all need to pray for Francis that he has to talk about them after every single game. Like, Kenny, Francis might need to be paid like $100,000 this year, because if I had to do that after every single game, I think I would quit. I don't think I could do it. But we're gonna take a quick break.
Don't give him ideas, bro.
Francis gonna hit us with the.
You just gave him.
He's like, he's gonna hit us with a Twitter, like a tweet later tonight, and say, I have to step away from Bluff City Media. I can't fathom taking time away from my family to cover this
to
team.
do this. Yeah, and I don't think everybody would be like, yes, you're a brave man. This is exactly what you needed to do. But we're gonna take a quick break. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We had a great football weekend this past weekend. Coming up this next weekend, we've got the divisional round of the playoffs. We got the national championship next Monday. So stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side with the Hot 3.
In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
I think we are absolutely capable, especially defensively.
Absolutely.
I mean, as bad as we've made some of these teams look, that we could 100% win the league. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Have you mentally prepared yourself for it to not be pretty? Like, are you okay
No.
with it not being pretty?
It's so tough to watch.
Are you in a place where you feel comfortable knowing that at this point in this season, the Tigers literally the only thing that matters is where you put the mark at the end of the game in the win or the loss column? Can we be
100%? It is so freeing to not be talking about the stupid net. We can win every single remaining league game by 1 point on a buzzer beater for all I care. Just win.
As a representative of all Tiger fans, as the Tiger fan, can we get Tiger fans to that same place that you're at?
I think those that truly understand and keep up with it are probably at that point, but there's going to be a lot that don't, like a lot of the casuals.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. with local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. What up, boys? We are back with the Hot 3. I've taken a drink. I'm calmed down. I'm good to go. Before we get to the actual Hot 3, I do want to say we're doing a Memphis Grizzlies watch party Thursday at Grind City Brewing. It'll be kind of a lower, you're gonna see a schedule come out over the next couple of weeks with all the watch parties for the rest of the season that we're gonna do. Rusty Witten will be there at 1 p.m. at Ground City Brewing for the Orlando Magic versus Memphis Grizzlies game in Berlin, Germany. I know folks are going to be working. Come hang out. We're going to do the post-game bounce from there. Have a good time. Come watch the game with us. We're going to do all that stuff there. It'll be a fun time. But we'll have some more information coming out about other watch parties at Ground City Brewing. The place to be. Let me get this back right. There we go. The place to be.
Felt like the Brady Bunch intro right there.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. Ooh. All right. Shout out to Grind City Brewing for allowing us to come out and do that. It'll be a lot of fun. Y'all ready to get to the Hot 3?
Of course.
Man, listen. It's going down, baby. I don't think anybody at the start of the season would have said Indiana and Miami would be in the national championship game, but nevertheless, they are there, baby. Miami outlasted Ole Miss in a pretty epic semifinal game. It was a lot of fun. And then Indiana absolutely boat raced Oregon in the semifinal. Guys, I will say on good authority, West Collierville Middle School, where my daughter goes to school, 100% of the kids there believe Indiana is absolutely going to torch Miami in the national championship game. Do you believe that to be the case? What's your thoughts?
Generally, yes. But I do think it's going to come down to a couple of things for Miami. And can they do against Indiana what they've been able to do in their first 3 playoff games, right? They did it to a certain extent against A&M. Certainly did it against Ole Miss with Mark Fletcher and that offensive line. Can they use their size on the offensive line to actually run the ball against Indiana? No one's been able to do it so far. Can they possess the ball? Can they limit the opportunities for Fernando Mendoza? If they can do that, they'll have a chance to win it going into the fourth quarter. But here's the thing. Even if you have a chance to win in the fourth quarter, the likelihood of Indiana going and winning that game is still very high. They're battle-tested, but they also can beat the hell out of you if you give them any opportunities. They just don't make mistakes. Fernando Mendoza is – I mean – when we talk efficiency, I can't think of anybody more efficient in the college football playoff at the quarterback position. In the history of the college football playoff, dating back to 2014. This guy is 31 for 36, only 5 incompletions, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Meaning he has more touchdowns than incompletions in the college football playoff. And think about it. He's playing Alabama and Oregon.
Yeah.
2 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
So, this Indiana team, I agree with West Collierville Middle. I think they'll win. But Miami, they got their puncher's chance. They have a lot of talent on that side.
Yeah, I'm with Gabe. The only way that Miami wins this game, they dictate the game in the trenches, which, like Gabe pointed out, they have ran the ball very effectively. I think their offensive line has taken over in every college football playoff game that they've played in thus far. Can they do that against Indiana? That's a different story. I think Indiana's allowing like 76 rushing yards per game or something like that. They do not get ran on. So Miami's offensive line will have to control them up front. Reuben Bain will have to get pressure their defensive line, which has been really was incredible in the first 2 games. Ole Miss kind of had a plan to alleviate that as far as just getting the ball out of their hands quick, not allowing Miami's defensive line to dictate that game up front. So they got to win in the trenches. And another thing that's very hard to do against Indiana, they've got to win the turnover battle because Indiana is so good at forcing turnovers and not only forcing them, but making you pay when they do, whether they take it straight to the end zone, or the offense gets the ball and scores. They get a lot of short fields, and they're so efficient offensively that those short fields convert to touchdowns more often than not. So that's how Miami wins this game, and no one's proven that they can do that against Indiana. So to me, the likelihood of it happening in the national championship is very low, in my opinion. And I mean, you never count a team out. You never go into a national championship or a Super Bowl and say that X team cannot beat Y team. They can always win.
They're there for a reason. They're there for a reason.
So, it can always happen. But to me, the likelihood of it is very low. I mean, they're 8.5-point favorites, which is crazy in a national championship game. And I think they could be 12.5-point favorites, and I probably wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah, one thing that I will say when it comes to Miami's offensive line and running the ball, they are substantially bigger than Indiana. But that's not anything Indiana hasn't dealt with in the past. But I will say, Indiana's biggest D lineman is their D tackle, 6'3", 302. And let me go ahead and go through Miami's offensive line from left to right. Markel Bell, their left tackle. If you watch a Miami game, you can't take your eyes off the guy. He's huge. He's 6'9". He's listed at 345. No chance. He's 370. There's just no way that guy is 345.
He looks like DeJuan Jones. He looks like DeJuan Jones.
McCoy, their left guard, 6'6", 300 pounds. James Brockermeyer, their center. Smallest guy, but it's a center. He's 6'3", 300. That's a pretty sizable center.
That's a big
right tackle, right guard, Inez Cooper, is 6'6", 350. And their right tackle, Francis Mawaga, who's going to be a first-round pick.
He's their best one.
Yeah. He is 6'6", 325 pounds. So, the size advantage is there for Miami. But what I think Indiana has done all year to even get past Ohio State size or Penn State size, they have done a really good job of gaming their defensive line. They slant, they twist, they do a lot of different things to play with the eyes of an offensive line. So if this O-line's going to have a good day at the office and Mark Fletcher's going to run for 100 yards, it's going to be picking them up and putting them down, getting your feet in the ground and being ready for all of that movement that Indiana's going to do, all that stunning.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That's 100% true. They have a massive offensive line, but can they outwit and outpower Indiana? Because they're so technically sound, they're so disciplined, they're so gap sound. Like they're always in the right spot at every level. Their defensive linemen are always in the right spot. Their linebackers are always in the right gaps. Their secondary is always in the right spots in coverage. And offensively, the ball's always where it needs to be. The offensive linemen are always blocking exactly who they're supposed to be, and the running backs are going through the holes that are there. Like, they take what is given to them. They are one of the most well-coached teams to me in the history of college football.
Yes, honestly, that's probably the actual thing we need to attach to their name instead of best team ever and putting 2019 LSU in the same. It's ridiculous. But
okay.
I do need to ask this to you, Christian. How much, like Akeem Mesidor and Reuben Bain Jr., how much does that affect Indiana? Those guys can wreck a game. Obviously, against Ole Miss, they didn't. They only had one combined pressure because Ole Miss, I called this last week. Ole Miss is very much a team that relies on RPO, gets the ball out quick, a lot of play action shots when Trinidad Chambliss was dropping back. So it just makes it a lot harder on those types of guys. Indiana doesn't do that stuff, but I wonder if they looked at that film and said, okay, this is a way we can neutralize these two guys and make it to where they're not going to ruin the game against us. They're not going to wreck it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not apples to apples by any means because you're talking, different strengths, different positions, but let's not forget Indiana played the defense with two defensive players in college football at Ohio State with Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs, and They limited them. It was kind of a rock fight, which is what we really expected at the end of the day in that game. But if they can find a way to mitigate Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs and not let them wreck a game, then I think with this coaching staff and how smart they are and how smart and bought in these players are, whatever it is, whether it's making them attack upfield, whether it's quick passing game, whether it's running the ball effectively and getting into play action and or moving Fernando Mendoza in the pocket.
They got it all in the bag.
Yeah.
They have it in the bag.
Whatever that coaching staff feels like is the best way to mitigate probably the best pass rushing duo in college football, they're going to find a way to do it. Like, and that's so crazy to say because there's not many times, not many college football teams that you look at and go, it doesn't matter who you put them up against. They're going to be coached well enough to not let them ruin the game. Like, that just doesn't happen. You usually look at difference makers players and go, they're going to do their thing. They're going to wreck the game on X amount of plays. But I just can't look at Indiana and not have full confidence that they have a way to mitigate those dangers because they haven't proven us otherwise. Every single game, every top player that they've played offensively and defensively, for the most part, they've taken care of those guys.
Yeah, and Christian, real quick, we do have to address this because we've had our conversations on this show in the past about Fernando Mendoza and his NFL draft prospects. And, you know, I was one who liked Dante Moore better in the middle of the season, and I'm doubting Fernando Mendoza and saying, you know, does he really fit the bill? Is he that type of prospect? The physical attributes are fine, but I just don't see anything overly outstanding about him. That was something that I said in the middle of the season. Yeah, he's 1-1. He needs to be drafted by the Raiders. He should be the first overall pick. He has done so much proving to me, not that he needed to me, but these last 2 games in this college football playoff, he has done a lot for me in regards to what I think he could be at the next level. I think he could be a franchise quarterback. I am fully bought into the Fernando Mendoza hype train.
Yeah, because he has everything that it takes to make a successful quarterback. Right?
Efficiency, getting his team into the right plays, and ball placement. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
you things, and leadership too. But
yeah, I'm about to say you can even go further than that. You can go. He's got the size, he's got the accuracy, he's got the football IQ, the acumen, the leadership. Like, he has all the intangibles to be a very good quarterback at the next level. And then we talked about this earlier on your show. In a day and age where we get so caught up in arm strength and measurables and size and speed and all these things that it doesn't take to be a good quarterback. You don't have to be able to throw the ball 85 yards. You don't have to be 6'5", 240 and run a 4.4. Even though Fernando Mendoza is a bigger dude than I think most people realize.
Decently athletic.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't take those things to be a great quarterback. And there are a multitude of examples over the history of the NFL that prove that to be true. But the things that are consistent in Hall of Fame, elite, top level, however you want to categorize the best quarterbacks in the league, they all share a similar set of skills. And it's not that they're the same height, the same weight, the same speed, and they can jump and throw the ball 85 yards, that they can lead, they can understand the offense, they can keep the team out of bad situations. They can put the ball where it's supposed to be. When it's late in the game and you need it, they can give it to you. Like, those are what makes a great quarterback, not walking out on a practice field at a combine and saying, that dude looks like a Greek god and he can throw the ball 90 yards. If that was the case, Anthony Richardson and Joe Milton would be the best 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Neither one of them even start in the NFL. So I think in this day and age, we get way too encompassed by those things. And at the end of the day, they don't mean that much. All that other stuff means a lot more.
Well said.
I was going to add another piece to the conversation, but we've gone pretty long on this one. We'll save it for after Indiana wins, and we'll talk about that. We'll make that the next that part of the topic of conversation next time. Topic number 2, Super Wild Card Weekend happened this past weekend, and I got to give another shout out to our guy Francis Carlotta. Laugh my ass off. I got to miss the Bears-Rams on Sunday for Memphis UTSA.
A 4-12 team.
Were y'all?
I don't mean to laugh, Francis. I'm sorry.
Like, there were some fun games in this wild card weekend, but the Bears-Packers game I got to watch from start to finish, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm just going to go out and say this. I think this, and you have it as Super Wild Card Weekend, which I know Gabe sent that. It's technically not Super Wild Card Weekend. Why did it just leave it as Super Wild Card Weekend? Like, since it expanded to 14 teams, the fact that it's not.
I still call it Super Wild Card.
Yes, and we should. I was not saying that for Kenny to change it. I think we should. I think it should be Super Wild Card Weekend. But this Wild Card Weekend, it delivered in every sense of the word. And the only two games that didn't come down to very late were the last two games, the Sunday night game and the Monday night game. But other than that, started off with the Rams and the Panthers, which 8.5 point spread. A lot of people thought that was going to be a blowout. It looked like it at the beginning of the game. Matt Stafford was rolling, Puka Nacua was rolling, and the Panthers just kind of hung around. And I think Bryce Young played a better game than his stat line suggests. I thought he made a lot of big time throws. Jalen Coker had a great game. Tech McMillan had a great game. They had a punt block towards the end of the game that allowed them to retake the lead. I think there was three or four lead changes in the fourth quarter. That was a great game that no one expected. And then Saturday night, Bears-Packers. I'll talk about that a little more. That was
unbelievable.
It was incredible, right? Because you have the longest storied rivalry in the history of the NFL and the Bears and Packers. And the Packers have owned the Bears for the better part of
third matchup this year.
Yeah, and this was the third game this year. It was the rubber match. They were 1-1. We've had the Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson kind of going back and forth at each other on podcasts.
Then you had the Packers jumping out to a quick lead.
Yeah, and Packers are up 21-3, and it's like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Same old Bears. Packers are going to roll them, and the Bears did what they did all season. They put themselves in bad positions in the first half. They do not blink. They do not get scared of the moment. They do not shy away from it. Say what you want about Caleb Williams. I've said it all year, Gabe. You've been consistent.
I've been the same way.
We have been so consistent on this all season. The stats didn't look that much better. The completion percentage didn't look that much better. But if you watch the games in the fourth quarter right now.
Stop telling me about completion percentage when I saw that throw to the sideline.
Bro,
don't tell me anything about completion percentage.
No.
The degree of difficulty on that throw, I can't.
And the moment, not
like the people and the moment, 4th and 6, or 4th and 8, whatever it was.
Yeah,
you have a safety over top, a cornerback trailing, and
two receivers in the same area.
And the linebacker sitting. He has to float it over the linebacker, away from the corner, and under the safety on the sideline, rolling away from his arm on a jump throw.
On a bum ankle that he had rolled.
It's silly. It's dumb. And also, I'll say this. Colson Loveland looks like the best tight end in this draft.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren's a good player. I'll give him a lot of credit. 8 catches, 137 yards, though, and he's a good inline blocker. Yeah.
In your first playoff game is impressive. So that game delivered on every aspect of it. It had the rivalry. It had the drama. It had the back and forth. It was awesome. And then it had the post game with Ben Johnson, which if you get mad over that kind of stuff, like stop watching sports.
The Packers that spent the entire
he said
week.
He wouldn't apologize. I'm like, who the hell asked him to apologize for saying F the Packers?
Yeah.
He's supposed to. He's the Bears head coach.
It's what makes sports fun,
Can I be the one? It was caught on on a camera and a mic in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to avoid that, just get that shit out of there.
Right.
I remember when Dan Lanning said they're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. When Colorado a couple years ago, he got in hot water. A pregame and postgame speech should, to me, be just that locker room sharing.
Yeah. And if he goes up and says it on the podium, that's completely different. But this is in the locker room after his first playoff win, and it was a crazy comeback, whatever.
I'll say it for him. Fuck the Packers.
I agree. It got us the 20th pick in the draft, so I was very glad that the Bears won that game. And then we go into Sunday. Jags Bills comes down to the wire. Josh Allen, Superman, puts the team on the back. He had been evaluated for a concussion. I think he had hurt his hand. He had hurt his knee or his foot. Like he was beat up in that game. They go down late, 4th and inches. They run a 10-yard tush push, quarterback sneak.
That was hilarious, man.
And then the next play they sneak it in, and Trevor Lawrence throws an interception to end the game. So I think a lot of people are rooting for the Bills in these playoffs because
who do they have playing wide receiver this week? Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis both tore their ACLs.
Who else did?
Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis.
Yeah, so they've got
and Tyrell Shavers was one of his best targets.
Yeah, no, he made some big catches throughout the year. It's you're really looking at Brandon Cooks, Keon Coleman, and Khalil Shakir. And
then you got to hope Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid give you something.
Yeah.
And then James Cook's going to have to probably run for 100.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people are saying that this is Josh Allen's playoffs to lose, just because there's no Burrow, there's no Mahomes, and there's no Jackson. But I'm with you, Gabe. I disagree.
I don't believe that at all.
If this was the Bills from 2 and 3 years ago, which I think for 2 years in a row they were the number one offense and defense in EPA, like they were good on both sides of the ball. The defense has been terrible this year. They have no receiving core. It's James Cook and Josh Allen, like that. The Bills are relying upon them, so it is going to take a heroic performance for Josh Allen in all of these games.
8 teams left: Bills, Broncos, 49ers, Seahawks, Texans, Patriots, Rams, Bears. Bills are by far, in my opinion, the most flawed team left in the playoffs.
San Francisco,
because of the injuries. Okay,
got a case to be made for that too.
That's fair. That's fair, but yeah.
And they don't have Josh Allen.
Yeah, but okay. Bills are one of the most flawed teams.
Yeah.
To say that this is Josh Allen's playoffs to lose because he's got experience is so short-sighted.
Right.
You're ignoring everything else about that football team.
I agree. And then we get the 49ers and Eagles, which kind of came down to the last minute as well.
And it's the game where Kevin Patullo definitely put the nail in the coffin on him getting fired.
Okay, Gabe, time out real quick. What did they say on the last drive? I think, what was it? They ran like 10 plays.
They ran so they had
four plays that had already been run.
That were
Go ahead.
They had 4 plays that were repeats.
Yeah.
They had a little spot that they ran twice. They ran 2 digs with 2 comebacks on the outside twice. And the 2 digs were hitting right in this, going at each other.
Yeah.
Like, going to operate the same space of the field. Then they had 2 more concepts that they ran back to back. But here's the stat that blows me away. So I think for those football knowers, if you're talking like route tree and routes that are the lamest routes, like throwaway routes in football, where would you put like a stick, like a nice little stick route? Turn around, catch it, 5-yard, 10-yard stick, probably the lamest route in the book.
A hitch, like a hitch route.
You know how many they ran on Sunday?
No.
48.
Oh my God.
They ran 48 hitch routes. 27.5% of the routes run by the Eagles were hitch routes. And the league average during Super Wildcard weekend was 12% of all routes. They ran 27, nearly 30% of their routes were hitch routes.
Oh, that's bad.
It's disgusting. And that's why Kevin Patullo is not going to be the offensive play caller anymore.
Yeah. He's already been fired, which rightfully so.
It sounds like Sirianni's going to keep him on the staff.
He's not. He's no longer the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yes. Honestly, with his performance and his play calling, I would have fired him because it's like, dude, I don't.
Yeah. What are you bringing?
I don't need you in my building, to be honest with you.
But I think this is the Eagles' pattern now. They either go to the Super Bowl or they implode on themselves. Yep. And that's what they've done over the last 4 years. They went to the Super Bowl and lost, and then they imploded, went 11-6, lost to the Bucs in the first round of the wild card, and it was just disgusting and ugly at the end of the season. Last year they win the Super Bowl, and then this year they go 11-6. They implode on themselves, and they lose in the first round to the 49ers, and there was even more dysfunction. It's hard to I don't like to speculate because I know there's a lot of emotion in the game, but it's kind of hard to see A.J. Brown coming back after just the entirety of this year. If it was just what happened over the weekend and the screaming match with Sirianni, you would say, emotions, playoff game, whatever.
That ain't it though.
But he's just been a pain for them all season. And
I do wonder if like all the bad vibes almost stem directly from him.
Yeah, it appears.
I've questioned that multiple times this year.
Yeah. So it feels like that might be the end of that marriage.
Then the final 2 games sucked.
Yeah, Patriots Chargers was a snooze fest. That's one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history.
By the way, Justin Herbert, I know it's not all his fault. I love Justin Herbert. I'm a big fan. His playoff career is good. God,
it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. This one is not on him though.
No. I mentioned that. I don't think it's on him. But he's 0-3. He gave up the biggest playoff comeback
to the
in the history of the National Football League in his first one against the Jags. Second one, he throws 4 picks. and it was directly on his shoulders, and they lose.
Yeah, that one was him.
And then this one, they score 3 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just bring that up to say, listen, whether you think it's bad luck or you think Justin Herbert's not that good, it's been a rough go for him in playoff.
Yeah, they need Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt back, and they need to get rid of Brad Lozman and Mekhi Becton. They need a new center and a new right guard. But
there was 1 week where I think they were playing Sunday Night Football, and they do the PFF ranks.
It happened again. It happened again.
Every single one of them, every single guy, once Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater went out, was either say it was out of 36, either they were 35 or 36. Every single one across the line.
It happened again in this playoff game, but it was worse because at this point in the season, more offensive linemen have played games.
So they're now 78 out of 79.
Or like 79. Bradley Bozeman in that first Sunday night game was like 34th out of 34th. In this playoff game, he was like 41st out of 41st. Like they all got worse. Like, it was even worse if you go from this playoff game. And then Monday night will lead us into our final point. Kenny, if you want to.
Oh, yep.
Man, I threw you. I threw you a softball.
You did. Well, no, I thought you were going to talk about the game. Then we were going to lead into it.
So no, not much to say about that game.
Not much to say about the game, except for shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I love seeing him get sacked on the final play to lose that game. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Am I wrong on this? Y'all like Aaron?
Who likes Aaron Rodgers? Honestly, is there anybody that's still pounding the table?
No.
Just
something about him. I'm just like, I don't like you, bro. I don't think I like you. All right,
go watch Enigma, dude. You're gonna love him after that. On Netflix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh Steeler head coach, former Memphis Tiger assistant coach, Mike Tomlin steps down.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that you put Memphis Tiger, former Memphis Tiger assistant coach. You're a goat for that.
Keep it relevant.
Listen, man. I think we live in an either-or society, right? Where it's very rare to find people, especially on like Twitter, social media, people that didn't take sports talk, that want to use nuance and believe that two thoughts can exist at the same time. But I think the either-or in this situation has been, if you're in Pittsburgh, you say, Mike Tomlin, it's gotten stale. It's awful. It's the worst thing ever. He's never updated this offense. He's such an overrated coach. I don't know why people call him a Hall of Famer. Or it's become, outside of that, you have a lot of people saying, you guys don't know how good you have it. He's your third coach since 1969. He's you guys are just so spoiled. I think it's an and in this situation. I think Mike Tomlin is probably first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the best coaches of my lifetime. And I also believe it got stale and it was time. He wasn't doing a very good job. Personnel decisions weren't great. He spent a bunch on a defense that was never very good this year. They're aging, and he hasn't done anything about that. After Big Ben, he's trying to find answers at quarterback, never made any really reasonable decisions there. I guess Kenny Pickett just didn't pan out, but you still have Mason Rudolph and all these guys on the roster. Then you go to Aaron Rodgers as this last-ditch hope to
Justin Fields and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, don't forget
they haven't won Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. You haven't won a playoff game since 2015. His offense post Big Ben, he just hasn't done anything to address it. He's cool with the status quo of what the Steelers have been forever, which is a defensive-minded team who run the ball and do that type of thing. But it's time to update. It's beyond time to update. And hopefully whoever they get in there is willing to adapt with the times, because Mike Tomlin wasn't. So I think he's a great coach. He gave them a lot of good years of service. But I got to be honest. I think it was probably beyond time. It was past time for them to find new leadership.
Yeah, I agree. And if Pittsburgh sticks to kind of what they've done in years past, like this will not be some big name bounce back head coach. Like this will be an up and coming young coordinator. I think Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin were both like 33 or 34 when they got hired, which it doesn't sound that crazy now, but in 2007, 2008, when Mike Tomlin was hired, that was crazy. I think he was one of the youngest coaches of all time. And same thing with Bill Cowher. Like young coaches were not as popular as they are now. But it'll probably be someone that you don't know a ton about if you're a casual fan. But Steelers have shown they're good at hiring. They haven't missed since Chuck Noll. I mean, it's been Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. They've all won at least one Super Bowl. They've all been there long term. I mean, you're talking about 1970 to 2026 or 2025, 3 coaches. That's pretty insane. And Gabe, just saying with its time and stuff like that, I would imagine this was probably a mutual thing between ownership and Mike Tomlin of, look, Mike, we love you. We appreciate everything you've done for this organization, but we just need to go a different direction. And Pittsburgh's a very respectful and respectable organization, the way that it's ran, the way that it's always been ran. I don't think they would just come out and say we fired Mike Tomlin. I'm sure there was a conversation of, how we wording this. What do you want to do? Because Mike was probably tired of hearing it too. I mean, the media's been tough on him. The fan base has been tough on him.
They're chanting fire Tomlin when
it's been tough. So so he probably felt like he needed to get out. They probably wanted him to get out. It was probably very mutual, and it just felt like time, and I think so too. And we talked about it on the show earlier, Gabe. Kind of what I hope Mike Tomlin does is very similar to what Mike McCarthy did when he left Green Bay. Now, obviously, he had a 4-year stint with Dallas and is out of coaching again, so it didn't last too long. But I hope Tomlin takes a minute and steps away and kind of reevaluates and comes up with a more modern plan on what to do, and not to just basically keep hiring the same offensive coordinator over and over and over again with a different name. I hope he kind of learns from this, because he's a great coach. I mean, you've never heard really anybody that played for Mike Tomlin.
No one's going to repeat 19 straight winning seasons.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen ever again.
That's tough to see. He's a great coach, and players want to play for him. A lot of players have went to Pittsburgh to play for Mike Tomlin. Like, he's very, very respected around the league. So if he goes back and kind of does some self-evaluation and figures this thing out, then I'm not going to say that he can't have like one of these career resurgences where his back nine looks maybe better than his front nine did.
Yeah. He's not a guy to count out.
No, not at all. And he's what, 52, 53 years old?
I mean, he got the job at 34. So
right.
He's still young in coaching years. I will say this, in the meantime, the bidding war for him for TV is going to be
massive.
Insane.
Yeah,
it's going to be wild. That dude's going to make bank for at least a couple of years until he wants to get back into coaching.
Right.
CBS, Fox Sports, what have you. Last question, then we'll wrap the show up. How do you think prospective coaching candidates view that Steelers job? And the reason I ask that is because I think when you use historical context, it's one of the most stable, successful franchises in the history of the NFL. 6 Lombardi trophies. And the stability, like you said, 3 coaches since 1969. But when you look at their current situation, you just got rid of a legend. You don't have a quarterback. Your offensive line stinks. You've overpaid on the defensive side of the ball. You have some cap space, not a bunch. Not like, Patriots from two off seasons ago cap space. So, like, I just look at their situation and I do question what type of coach is going to take that on. Yeah. And what coaches actually think of taking a job with the Steelers in 2026.
Yeah.
Not 07 when Tomlin was hired, but
right.
2026, what is that? What's that Steelers logo mean these days?
Yeah, I think it's completely dependent on the coach, honestly. Like, if a coach really values organization and the way that it's ran and who it's ran by and those types of things, then the Steelers are always going to be a great location just because of the track record. But what we've seen in modern day coaching is you don't have a lot of time to make this thing work before you get canned. And then you got to go back and be a coordinator again and work your way back up to being a head coach which we've talked about it multiple times. The retread really doesn't work very often. There are very few examples of the retread working. So I say that to say I don't know if the Steelers can be competitive in 2 years. I don't. It's going to take them time. They have a complete question mark at the quarterback position. And I mean, the thoughts are Aaron Rodgers is not going to come back to Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin not there. So now you have, Mason Rudolph. You've got a first-round draft pick in the 20s in a quarterback class that's not very deep. So your option becomes a potentially a trade to get a quarterback is your only clear path to quick success. But even past that, you have the highest paid defense in the entire NFL, and they were not good this year. TJ Watt has not been the same player the last couple of years. Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig have been good, but you're paying Jalen Ramsey, who's on the back end of his career. Yep. It is a team that felt like they put one foot in the water to win now, but didn't go all the way in. A lot of people said, "Oh, the Steelers are all in. They got Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey, and they traded for DK
all in
Metcalf."
They could go given their situation.
Agreed, but not like a Rams all in where
they should have. If they convinced themselves they could go for a Super Bowl, that's dumb.
Yes,
but I think they went as all in to be a playoff contender as they possibly could, given their circumstances. But it's still, I mean, listen, we said it like when that roster was put together this offseason. If it was 2020, that's a Super Bowl team. Yeah, but it's 2025, 26. It was never going to happen.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that roster was built for this year, really. Like that roster was built.
And Cam Hayward, second team All-Pro, getting old.
Real old. But I mean, that it was built to say, look, we have Aaron Rodgers this year. We're gonna try to put some pieces around him. So
who's their best returning player? Like, who's their best player that you're like, okay, this is a young guy we can build around? Alex Highsmith.
Yeah.
Kenny Gainwell won MVP.
I mean, Kenny was probably on a 1-year deal. He's probably going to free agency if I had to guess.
And he'll probably get some bank too.
Yeah. But anyway, all that to say, like, it just depends how you view the coaching hiring process. If you're an organizational trust the process guy, then I think people will be attracted to the Steelers. Of course, they're one of the all-time best franchises in the history of the NFL. But if you have those younger, newer coaches that look around the league and say, look, you've got a year or two or you're done. You're done. If you don't win quickly, then you're done. And we don't, we can say that, the Steelers had Tomlin for 19 and Cowher for 19. And they've only had 3 coaches. But if you go 3-14 for 2 years, I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to be okay with that.
Yeah. I heard that talking point parroted by Peter Schrager and all these guys on ESPN this morning. And I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? It's easy to not give up on Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, especially when they have immediate success.
Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl in year 2, guys. Like, that's why would you give up on him? I heard that parroted, and I'm like, am I missing something? They're like, the Steelers give their coaches time. I'm like, yeah, because they're Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Yeah. They're all Hall of Famers. Like, what are we?
And I mean, you look around now, and coaches have been much more selective with where they go. I mean, you look at someone like Vrabel,
John Harbaugh.
Well, I'm talking about that have already been hired. Like Vrabel was very patient in the process, didn't try to jump right back into it, kind of waited and felt things out and said, man, the Patriots, they have the most cap space. They got a lot of money to spend, and they got a player that I think can be a franchise quarterback in Drake May. Ben Johnson, 2 years ago, was the number 1 head coaching candidate, did not leave because he did not like any of the situations out there, stayed in Detroit for another year. This year, had the opportunity to coach Caleb Williams, felt like he was the franchise quarterback, took that job. So guys aren't just jumping on being a head coach as quickly anymore. They're being more patient, and they're waiting on those situations where they're ready-made, that if they can get their fingerprints on it, they can go immediately be successful. So I know that's convoluted and that's not like a straight answer, but I think it really does depend on the specific coach.
That's fair.
All right, boys. Well, let's wrap it up. We appreciate you guys for joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, and comment on there. If you're listening via podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, you can do the same there. Once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us, and we will see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.